My name is Elena. I work as a nurse. Today is a special day. One of my patients, Mrs. Carter, can finally go home. She stayed here for 10 days. The doctor says she is healthy now. No more pain, no more problems. Everything looks good, but something strange is happening. I enter her room. I say, "Good news, Mrs. Carter. You can go home today." But she says, "No, I can't. I don't feel good." That surprises me. Yesterday, she smiled. She ate well. She even laughed. So, why this change? What happened in just one night? I ask, "Where do you feel pain?" She says, "Everywhere." I ask again, "Do you feel dizzy?" She says, "A little." I ask, "Do you feel weak?" She says, "Yes, very." I don't understand. The doctor says she is fine. The tests are normal. The medicine is working. So, why does she want to stay? Then she says something strange. She says, "I don't want to be alone." I ask, "What do you mean?" She says, "At home. There is no one. No one calls me. No one visits me. Here, at least, someone talks to me." I stop talking. I start thinking. Maybe this is not about her body. Maybe it's something else. I ask, "Don't you have family?" She says, "I have a son." I ask, "Does he live far?" She says, "No, he lives close, but he forgot me." That word stays in my mind. Forgot. Why would a son forget his own mother? Why is she really here? Is this still a hospital case, or is it something more? I can't stop thinking about what Mrs. Carter said. He forgot me. That word follows me all day. I check her chart again. Everything is normal. Her blood pressure is good. Her temperature is good. No reason to stay, but she still says, "I don't feel well." The doctor asks me, "Why is she still here?" I say, "She says she is not ready." He says, "She is ready. Maybe she just needs to talk." So I go back to her room. I ask, "Mrs. Carter, do you want to talk?" She says, "No one wants to listen." I say, "I do." She's quiet. Then she says, "He used to call every Sunday. Then he stopped. He used to bring flowers. Then nothing. Now he is busy. He has a new life. I am not part of it." I ask, "Have you tried calling him?" She says, "Yes," but he never answers. Or he says, "I'm in a meeting." She looks tired, not in her body, but in her heart. I don't know what to say. Then I ask her, "Do you want me to call him?" She looks surprised. She says, "Would you do that?" I say, "Yes." She says, "Okay, but maybe he won't answer." I look at the phone number. I call. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. Then a voice. "Hello?" It's him. I say, "Hello. My name is Elena. I'm a nurse. I take care of your mother." Silence. He says, Is something wrong? I say, no, she is okay, but she wants to talk to you. He says, I'm busy right now. I say, please, just listen for 1 minute. She doesn't want to go home because she feels alone. Again, silence. Will he listen? Will he understand? Or will he hang up? I wait for his answer. I hold the phone. He doesn't speak. I say, she is not sick anymore. She can go home. But she is scared, not of pain, not of her health. She is scared of silence, of being alone. He says, she always says that. She likes attention. I say, maybe. But today it's different. She doesn't want medicine. She wants a voice. Yours. He says, I don't have time. I have meetings, work, things to do. I say, 1 minute is enough. Just 1 minute. I'll give her the phone. I give the phone to Mrs. Carter. She says, hello? I stand and listen. I can hear her voice, soft, careful. She says, I didn't want to bother you. She waits, then says, I only wanted to hear your voice. More silence. Then she says, it's okay, I understand. You're busy. She hands the phone back to me. I take the phone. He says, she's fine, right? I say, physically, yes. Emotionally, no. She cries at night. She asks if someone will visit. She says she feels invisible. He says, what do you want me to do? I say, visit her or call her once a week, even 5 minutes. It can change everything. He says, I'll think about it. I hang up. Mrs. Carter looks at me. She says, thank you. I say, don't lose hope. Maybe he will come. But the next day, he doesn't come. The day after, nothing. 3 days pass. She says, I knew it. He doesn't care. I don't know what to say. Then the nurse manager says, she must leave tomorrow. Her room is needed. I tell Mrs. Carter. She says, then I will go. It's okay, I'll go. Her voice sounds small. I call her son again. I say, she's leaving tomorrow. He says, okay. I ask, will you come? He says, I don't know. I say, she needs you. This is not about health, it's about love. He says, I have work. I say, then she will leave alone. He says, maybe next week. I say, maybe next week will be too late. He doesn't answer. I end the call. I feel angry, but I also feel sad. How can a son forget so fast? The next morning, Mrs. Carter is ready. The papers are done. The taxi is called. She says, maybe he will come, or maybe not. Life is like that. I look at the door. Nothing. 5 minutes pass. 10. The taxi is waiting. She says, let's go. And then someone walks in. But is it really him? Or is it just a delivery person? or another nurse? Or is this the moment everything changes? The door opens. I turn my head. Mrs. Carter does not move. She is quiet. She waits. I wait too. It is not a nurse. It is not a delivery person. It is a man. A tall man. He looks confused. He says, "Is this room 12? I say, "Yes." He says, "I'm looking for my mother." Mrs. Carter looks up. "Michael," she says. The man says, "Hi, Mom." She does not answer right away. She just stares. He says, "Sorry, I'm late. I had a meeting. I came as fast as I could." She says, "You came?" He says, "Yes, I came." She says, "But you said you were busy?" He says, "I was." But then I started thinking about the hospital, about you, about all the times you helped me when I was small, and I felt bad, very bad. Mrs. Carter says, "I didn't think you would come." He says, "I almost didn't, but then I heard your voice. You sounded tired, lonely." She says, "I'm always alone." He says, "Not anymore." I watch in silence. I don't say anything. I just listen. He says, "Let's go home, Mom. I'll take care of you." She says, "Home? You're home?" He says, "Yes, you can stay with me. I already talked to my wife. We have space. You'll have your own room." Mrs. Carter says, "But I don't want to bother anyone." He says, "You're not a bother. You're my mother." She says, "I thought you forgot me." He says, "I never forgot you. I was just too busy, too selfish. I'm sorry." She says, "Thank you for coming." He says, "Thank Elena. She called me. She made me see things clearly. I feel my heart beat faster. I don't speak. I don't move. I just listen." He says, "Let's go. The taxi can leave. I'll take you." Mrs. Carter says, "Okay." She smiles. I check the papers. I cancel the taxi. I give her the documents. She takes them. Her hands are not shaking now. They are strong. He holds the papers too. He says, "Ready?" She says, "Yes." They walk to the door. Then she stops. She turns to me. She says, "Elena, you didn't just heal my body, you healed my family." I smile. But deep inside, I ask myself, is this real? Or will things go back to the way they were? Will he really care for her? Or is this just one good day? I don't know the answer. Not yet. But this moment feels like the beginning of something good. 3 days pass. I think about Mrs. Carter often. I wonder how she is. I want to believe everything is fine. But I also know sometimes people make promises and forget them. I hope that's not the case this time. Then one morning, I hear someone call my name. "Elena, someone is asking for you at the front." I say, "Who is it?" The receptionist says, An old patient, Mrs. Carter. I feel surprised. Why is she here? Is something wrong again? I walk to the lobby, and there she is. But she's not alone. Her son is with her, and not just him. A small girl is also with them. She looks about 5 years old. The girl runs toward me and says, "Are you Nurse Elena?" I say, "Yes." The girl says, "My grandma told me you are a hero." I smile. Then I look at Mrs. Carter. She says, "This is my granddaughter. I'm living with them now." I ask, "Is everything okay?" She says, "Yes, everything is more than okay." Her son speaks. He says, "I didn't plan this, but when I took her home, I saw something. My daughter was happy. My wife was happy. Even I felt better. I realized I needed her too." I say, "I'm glad." Then he says something I don't expect. He says, "We're starting a support group for other people like her, for parents who feel forgotten. We want to help." I say, "Really?" He says, "Yes. I want to share her story. I want others to understand how important it is to call, to visit, to care." Mrs. Carter says, "This hospital saved me, not with medicine, but with love." Then her son gives me something, a small card. It says, "Carter Family Foundation, never alone again." I look at the card. I feel something strong inside, a mix of joy, hope, and peace. I never imagined one phone call would do all this. But the twist isn't just that he came back. The twist is what happened after. They didn't just fix their family. They decided to help others too. That's the real change. And it all started with one woman who didn't want to go home because home wasn't love. Now it is. And that changes everything. It has been 2 weeks since I saw Mrs. Carter. Every day I think about her. I wonder how she feels. I wonder if things are still good. Sometimes people change for a short time. Then life goes back to normal. That's what I fear. But then something happens. The hospital starts a new program. It's called One Call, One Change. It helps families talk again. It helps old people feel seen. The idea came from Mrs. Carter's son. He wrote a letter. In the letter, he told their story. He said, "Sometimes we need someone to remind us what really matters." The hospital prints that letter. They hang it in the hallway. All the nurses read it. Many cry. I do too. Later, I get an invitation. A small event will happen at the community center. The first meeting of the Carter Family Foundation. They will give a short speech. They will invite families. They will tell people, "You are not forgotten." I go to the event. I sit in the back. I don't want attention. I just want to listen. Mrs. Carter speaks first. She says, "I almost gave up, but one person believed in me. One person made a call. That call changed my life." Then her son speaks. He says, "I thought I was helping her, but really, she helped me. She taught me to slow down, to love, to remember." Then something beautiful happens. The little girl stands up. She says, "Now I have a grandma at home. She helps me with homework. We watch movies. We laugh. She makes me happy." Everyone claps. I feel something warm inside. Later, Mrs. Carter comes to me. She says, "You were the first to listen. I won't forget that." I say, "You helped me too. You reminded me why I do this job." She says, "Sometimes people don't need medicine. They need connection. They need one person to care." I say, "You're right." She smiles. Then she says, "I thought my story was ending, but maybe it was just beginning." Now, every time I meet a new patient, I remember her words. I don't just check the body, I listen to the heart, because one phone call can change a day, one visit can change a week, and one kind word can change a life. Mrs. Carter went home, but this time she was not alone. Sometimes we think helping means giving medicine or fixing a problem. But now I know. Helping can also mean listening. One small action can change a big part of someone's life. Mrs. Carter didn't need more tests. She needed love. She needed to feel that someone still cared. Many people feel alone today. Maybe your neighbor. Maybe your grandmother. Maybe even someone in your house. So I ask myself, and I ask you, when was the last time you called someone just to say, "I care"? Maybe today is the day to do it, because one voice, one call, one moment of care can change everything.